All right, right now I'm here with Santiago, CEO of the Webby Design Agency. Um, Today we're talking about UX, copy, best practices for your website, both homepage and PDP. Santiago, if you want to take it over, let's do it.
Sure, awesome. Thank you, Bobby. So first of all, I would start when you're designing your website or optimizing the design. I would start with thinking about what is the best possible outcome for your audience, and from that perspective, it switches the perspective of like how you are, what is the best possible outcome for you, which is sales, and think about your audience and be like, how do you want them to feel? What do you want them to learn? What behavior do you want them to change about their life that is linked to your product, right? So from there, from that start, then you can work backwards. Okay, so you have the goal is to, for instance, like buy a product, like let's say a workout product, right? So they want to feel better about themselves, they want to optimize their workout, and they want to have an energy product for their workouts, right? So they want to feel more energized, they want to feel better looking, they want to feel more sexy. So how are you going to get to that point that you are linking their desires to your product, and then work backwards to think about content blocks in terms of, okay, this product is going to make you feel better, this product is going to help you have better workouts, feel more powerful, and so forth. So that's a good angle that, in my experience, has worked very, really well in terms of crafting a narrative for a homepage or a PDP. So I can go really quick and show you examples into how this applies in real life. So I'll just share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, while you're pulling it up, that's a lot of language about benefit rather than the
Yeah.
company and differentiation, right?
Exactly, and I love that because that puts you, or the brand, like it's all about the customer, right? So like when you think about, for instance, a homepage, right? We have here a case study. Okay, so we have the case study. This is a website that I helped optimize. So we think about what it is on the homepage, what it's for, and who it's for, right? So it's like delicious granola. You have no idea how many brands I find that just don't mention exactly what it is that they sell. Like you can assume it by the picture, but when it comes to homepage copy, it's so beneficial to be obvious about things. And that is the game changer, in my experience, to be always centered around like that person that's landing on your homepage that is distracted. They're just scrolling casually, and how are you going to grab their attention being like really explicit and really clear about what it is that you're selling? So in this case, for instance, like if we go to like a before and after here in terms of how this section looked before the product, we have this circles right here, which used to be very colorful. So just tuning down the colors, going back to the basics is usually a good idea. Here we have really long testimonials. Here instead, this is the after. We have really short testimonials. Then we have, why, when you talk about like your brand, why choose us, then thinking about like, who is going to benefit from the fact that this is a women-owned brand. There's nothing, it's a really good thing that it's a women-owned brand, but the first thing that you want to put is like low sugar. Those type of things, like those type of very specific things that are very good for the like very tangible things for the user. And then you talk about, here we talk about the founder. She's a woman, and she has a very interesting story about it. Great, let's just put it in a different section, and then let's convey that that perspective. It's all about where and how to say things, really. And then here we have, for instance, her section. It says like you, I struggle to find tasty and healthy snacks. That's why I started granola. It's like that language of like you is really different from, and showing her face is really different from, having a big blurb of text that people are not going to read that much, and then having her back to the audience. For someone who doesn't know the owner, they don't know that it's her. You know what I mean? So it's small tweaks like that that maybe are not totally redesigning a brand, but just cleaning up aspects and being really strategic about where to put information that helps do things like improve sales, right? So the sales in this page grew 18%, the organic sales, and then we have an increased checkout 42%, and then the average time that people spent on the site increased 7%. And that's really big because that's improving SEO, that's improving obviously sales, but it's also improving the overall user experience by just having an easier kind of time understanding what the product is without so much color, without so much text.
Yeah, that's great. And this looks like some sort of pre-post comparison that you've put together as a case study, but do you do audits like this, or what's your typical process for talking to people about their site?
So a typical process would be to go through the basics, which could be, for instance, this is also a before and after review, like this is how I looked before, which is like homepage, 5 sections. We have the hero text, which is what it is, what it's for, and who it's for. Then we have the featured in section. If you have press, that should be here, that we put over here, right? Then we have the products, which should have, you know, very clean images, and there should only be one row of products. Then we have the social proof, again, minimal language. If you have videos, great. And then, you know, differentiators of the brand, and then it could be something like in this case, like benefit, you know, what the more things about the brand, like an about section that's really minimal, if you will, towards the bottom. So that would be a regular process. That is like we follow that line of thought of just like 5 sections for the homepage, and then for the product page, very simple, also 5 sections.
That, I was going to say, this is a lot about homepage, which we don't really talk about a lot. A lot of traffic gets sent to PDPs,
Right.
and that's okay. But it's interesting to hear a lot of language about that homepage. It's pretty interesting to see the bump too, and you know, conversion rate.
Right. So the homepage helps a lot in terms of having a good presentation page for people who are trying to learn a little more. They will very often go to the homepage to reviews. They will obviously look for online reviews when they're just, you know, checking your credentials, if you will. And a lot of information really overlaps, actually, from product to homepage.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
If
walk us through the 5 on the PDP you had.
Sure. So you have photos. So what you want to have on the photos is a very clean version. Think about like how Amazon sells, you know, the products here. Like has this section. It's just the actual product. You also want to have a picture of people using the product so that they visualize the size. That's really important, visualizing the actual size. Then you want the section of what it is, what's in it, and what it's made for, right? And then you can add like obviously details like here, like flavor. Just think about questions that your audience is gonna have in terms of like, you know, is it gonna taste good? Like what specific flavor is this? You know, how to use it? Like, do I use it in a smoothie or can I use it just in a blender bottle? You know, this kind of very basic questions. So that's what it is. We have the pictures, we have what it is, what it's for. Then we have the differentiators, super important. These are, you know, selling points. It's a good idea if you have a 4th section on comparison. If that's something that, you know, your brand, you know, like there's really big names in your industry, then you want to you have very strong differentiators. Here we added a little bit more information on what it is that's inside, just for those like, you know, those people who are very inquisitive. And then obviously we have the reviews. In this section, in this page, we specifically have more like reviews that are videos, but we also have the, you know, regular customer reviews. So that's it at at a high level.
Yeah, that's great, man. You know, a lot of the stuff you've said we like to recommend as well, but obviously you've got a little more specific reasons for it. We just need something that's. It feels like a lot of times owners have a site, they have a great product, and they know all this wonderful stuff about it, but they don't share that information on their
Right.
PDPs. It's like, well, I don't know that the fabric is extra special and worth $30 more until you tell me. And it's okay to have your PDPs be salesy. Try to sell this product. That's the whole point of this page. Explain
Yeah.
all the details, show the features and benefits in a way that convinces people to buy your product. It's a wonderful thing to do, and every brand needs to evaluate, like, you know, how would you look, something I like to say is like, how would you look at your site if
Hmm.
your budget was, you know, $500,000 a month rather than 100,000? You might spend a little more time looking at each page in the site, analyze all the details and information a lot closer, because there's a lot more risk there. It would impact everything much more positively. So
Hmm.
thanks for your thoughts. I really appreciate it. Anybody, if you're out watching and you'd like to have Santiago do an audit on the site, it sounds like you can reach out to him. I'll link out his stuff. And it's web development. I would assume there's other, like, do you do CRO and things like that, or is it really just web development?
So it's mostly web design from a user experience and design of colors and branding, and also content.
Got
So
it.
we optimize for the most part that aspects, and then we also do optimization of speed, which matters a lot.
Great. All right. Well, thanks so much for the time. I'll link out your stuff. Go check out the Webby Design Agency. See you, bud.
Thank you.